Hello again. Today I want to speak to you about a subject that I'm quite passionate about, and that is the benefits of wearing a facial sunscreen or sunblock product regularly on your face. Now I've worn a SPF 30 plus facial sunscreen now pretty much every day of the year for over a decade. I believe it's the single most important anti-aging product that you can use. It makes a lot of sense to me to be proactive when it comes to aging and preventing the signs of aging. It just seems to me an easier approach than waiting until you have sun damage or aging and then trying to correct it. Now I'm in Australia and I have very pale skin, so very important to wear an SPF product, both for anti-aging benefits and to try and guard against skin cancer. But equally, no matter what your skin type or colour is or what country you live in, it's very important to protect yourself from the sun. Now as far as SPF itself goes, I'm sure most people are aware that those letters stand for sun protection factor. What that relates to is the amount of time that someone can spend in the sun before their skin starts to burn. Obviously the higher the SPF, the more protection that product provides. A lot of day creams and makeup and even BB creams that purport to protect yourself from the sun only have an SPF factor of 15. And it's generally considered that an SPF of 30 is the minimum that's required to provide adequate protection just on a day-to-day basis. Now it's very important when you're looking for an SPF product to make sure that it either says it's broad spectrum or that it protects from both UVA and UVB rays, because some don't, so do check on the label and make sure that that's the case. There's also two different types of sunscreens that I wanted to talk to you about today. There's chemical sunscreens, which are the more traditional sunscreens, and the way that they work is that they actually absorb the UV light. And on the other hand, there's physical sunscreens which act to block or reflect the UV light. In my personal opinion, everybody should be wearing a sunscreen product on their face every day with an SPF of at least 30 plus. Now in Australia there are labelling restrictions that mean that companies that market sunscreen in Australia are not allowed to put an SPF of higher than 30 plus on their products. But I understand that is in the process of changing, and that soon Australian sunscreen will be able to have a higher SPF labelling. Okay, so if you're going out looking for a moisturiser, a day cream, a BB cream to wear on a daily basis, you'll find that a majority of products that are marketed as day creams either don't have any SPF at all or have an SPF of 15. So if you ignore all those products and just purely look at any products that are available with an SPF of 30 plus, it really reduces the number of products that you'll need to have a look at and compare between, and makes it simpler to choose a product that would suit your needs or skin type. Now I have a few to show you today. First of all, I'll start with the chemical sunscreens that I have. I've tried many sunscreens over the years, both high-end products and products from the chemist or drugstore if you like. And the one I actually keep coming back to time and again is the Ego QV Face Moisturising Day Cream with SPF 30 plus. But this particular product is normally in the skincare area, and I believe it's a superior product to the others that Ego make. The reason I like this one is that it's fragrance and colour free. It's also quite light and moisturising and sinks into the skin very well. Makeup also applies very well over the top of this sunscreen. I find if I use a serum and then this product, I don't need a separate moisturiser. So that's the consistency of the product. A really lovely light lotion. Sinks in really well and doesn't feel like it's leaving a greasy residue there. A really nice cosmetically elegant sunscreen, that one, highly recommended. The other chemical sunscreens I have to tell you about are both tinted products. I have this Dr. LeWinn's Synergize Anti-Aging Tinted Moisturiser, SPF 30 plus. And this is the Dr. LeWinn's range that's stocked at Coles supermarkets. Dr. LeWinn's also has another SPF 30 plus tinted moisturiser in their regular line. A bit dearer than this product, I have tried that one as well, and I actually prefer the Synergize product. This one's light textured and moisturising, that's the consistency of the product there. Now it's quite a sheer coverage. It does give you a little bit of colour and dries down to quite a matte finish. Now there's not a lot of coverage in that one, but it is nice and hydrating and light, and it's a good one on the days when perhaps you're not intending to wear makeup, you just want a bit of colour, and you can put this on with some mascara and lip gloss and you're good to go. The other product I wanted to talk about is the Face of Australia Tinted Moisturiser, also with an SPF of 30+. Once again, a light and hydrating formulation. This one actually does provide a decent amount of coverage though, I believe. That's the consistency of that one. Comes in different tints. This one's a light tint. And I actually think this is a product that could be marketed as a BB cream. And Face of Australia are known for having really lovely facial sunscreens. So these two products retail for around the $10 to $12 mark. So really quite reasonably priced as well. And the Dr. Lewin product normally retails for around the $30 mark. But it is on special at Coles, I noticed at the moment, for around $24. Now a couple of years ago I started hearing a lot of talk about the benefits of using a physical facial sunscreen rather than a chemical one. There doesn't seem to be any hard evidence to suggest to me that there are any long-term damaging effects from the chemicals in chemical sunscreens. But it just seemed to me that if there's a physical product available that's providing the same level of protection without the chemicals, then that must be a good thing. The active ingredients in physical sunscreens is generally zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. Some people do find that titanium dioxide can be a bit pore clogging though, or a bit irritating to particularly sensitive skin. So you'll find a majority of the physical sunscreens out there actually have zinc oxide as their main ingredient. I have a few physical sunscreens to show you as well. First of all, the Invisible Zinc Environmental Skin Protector, SPF 30+. This one's a 50ml pump top tube. Now with the Invisible Zinc sunscreen too, it's important to be aware that they have other facial sunscreens that aren't a moisturiser, so you need to look for the one that says ESP. And this is the product that I use most days, and an outstanding product in my opinion. I also have that one in a 30ml tube, which I bought because it was on special, and it's a good size for travelling. Now there is some criticism of physical sunscreens being that they're quite greasy and can leave a white cast on your face, which is something you might expect with zinc oxide being the main ingredient, because you know, when you think of zinc and the white stripes that you see on cricket players or lifeguards. But there has been a lot of research and development in that area, and Invisible Zinc actually is a leader in that field, in that they've managed to produce a physical sunscreen that is quite cosmetically elegant, that doesn't leave that white cast and sinks into the skin quite well. This product is not cheap. The 30ml size retails for around $30. So I do have a budget-friendly zinc product also to recommend to you, and that's the Woolworths Select Clear Zinc Sunscreen, SPF 30+. It's fragrance-free, it's suitable for sensitive skin, there's no titanium dioxide, and it also says that it contains vitamin E and aloe vera. And I find this actually is a comparable product to the Invisible Zinc. Probably doesn't sink in quite as well, it's a little bit thicker, but definitely a good budget option. What I'll actually do with this one is mix a little bit of the QV facial sunscreen in with it as well, which I just find makes it easier to apply and a little more hydrating. I wouldn't mix two chemical sunscreens together at all. I'd be concerned about the compatibility of the different chemicals there, but I have no issue mixing these two products together, because essentially all I'm doing is adding some zinc product to a chemical sunscreen, and they both have the same SPF. Is also an Invisible Zinc product. It's the Tinted Day Wear, SPF 30+. This is a tinted moisturising physical sunscreen for the face. I've mentioned this one before. I don't find it applies quite as well as the Environmental Skin Protector Invisible Zinc product. Perhaps just a little thicker and more tacky, but still a lovely product, and it provides a light amount of colour and coverage there as well. But if you're in the market for a tinted sunscreen, be aware that you can always add a tint to any sunscreen that you have. So for example, if you were to use either of these products, what you can do is just mix in a bit of facial bronzing gel or cream to the product just to give it a tint. I'm not talking about a self-tanning gel, I'm just talking about purely a bronzing gel, like a wash-off colour, and not just trying to mix it with your normal foundation. Because you need something that's quite dark, so you only need to use a tiny amount of it, and it's not diminishing the SPF of your sunscreen product. As you have the Dr. Horschka Translucent Bronze Concentrate, a bronzing product for the face. It's quite dark. So what you can do is just mix some of your sunscreen and a product like this on the back of your hand, and you'll end up with a tinted sunscreen product. So if you haven't tried a physical sunscreen before, you will find it's quite a different consistency and texture to perhaps a chemical sunscreen that you're used to. If you are finding the texture a bit heavy and perhaps the finish a bit tacky on your skin, you could try mixing in a little bit of moisturiser or chemical sunscreen with an SPF 30 plus as well. Other things that I tend to do to aid in the application of my physical sunscreen is that I'll take my time applying it. So I'll give it a good 5 minutes to soak in the morning while I'm getting dressed or something else. By that time it's sunk in quite well, and then I'll just blot lightly with a tissue before I go on to apply my makeup. And I find that my makeup does apply well over the top of it. I don't have any problem with foundations balling or slipping off. The other thing that you can do is to set your physical sunscreen with a powder. So there are finishing powders available. I have the Invisible Zinc staying powder. This is actually a product I picked up for around $16 on clearance at David Jones. It's one of these white, incredibly fine finishing powders. And you can find a similar product from Australis do one, Elf does one, and I'll list the names of those below if you wanted to have a look. The idea is that you put on your physical sunscreen, let it absorb for a couple of minutes, and then you can lightly dust the powder on your face before you go onto your makeup. Just makes it feel a bit more mattified and smoother base for your makeup, I guess. And with a powder like that, there's no problem with applying liquid foundation or cream, blushes or any sort of products like that over the top. So I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching. Bye.